Okay, enter the viewfinder. So this is what we're going to be working on this week is the viewfinder. And I wanted to just have you guys get out your viewfinder from the stack of papers. This is red vellum, we'll save for later. This is a viewfinder, it's large and it's for landscapes, kind of bigger drawings that we might be, or areas we might be looking at. So for now, this will be the handy viewfinder that we're going to be using. If you want to, I've had students in the past take their viewfinder and they carefully fold it so that there's like a cross in the lengthwise, and then there's also a cross right here that matches. You can see how I'm trying to match it up. And by doing so, then they even write in where these little areas are. And we'll be using these hatch marks later on when we start our big paper. But for now, that can be really helpful, although your viewfinder will be a little bit folded. I've also had students do their own just like string and tie their string to that. So just tape it. And it was something that was really helpful in the beginning. Viewfinders are going to be a tool that you can use for finding a composition. So that's what we're really looking for. And so this next little section is all about how to use the viewfinder to understand how to capture thumbnails. So here's one still life that I have set up, just the stuff that was in my studio I thought was interesting. And here's one of my viewfinders, the one I was just showing you. Okay, I gotta just pick it up. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the viewfinder with my phone and I'm going to sort of like move this thing around. I'll move it closer to the phone. And I can see when I do that, I get a lot of white wall and the table itself. When I close it in, I crop some objects and I start to look at different elements that are in my little pile of stuff here in a different way. I can see maybe the toilet paper and the ring on the top and how there's a ring on the actual tape itself. And I can pull it back and then I can see a couple more of the lemons here. So what I would suggest doing is using your viewfinder. You know, this is called horizontal or the portrait style. And you can also use it, this is vertical, the portrait style. And then this is horizontal, the landscape style. To try different scenarios in your viewfinder. And I would, you can use the same object area if you want. You can rearrange things on the same still life, or you can go to different areas in your house using your viewfinder and cropping to find a different point of interest. And I can just do a rearrangement. Even with the rearrangement, turning the box a little bit, using my viewfinder to crop. What I'm looking for is how to create a really interesting composition, and I would strongly urge you all to try and have things that look like they're cropped. You can see my bottle and my lemon, the edge of my can in there is all cropped. Then I'd hold on to it for a little bit and I would try to just visualize what the square looks like. We're going to start using this viewfinder in a way to actually create a different kind of composition and be able to accurately put the composition on the paper. Alright, so I did a couple of thumbnails of those things I was showing you using my viewfinder. Remember, thumbnail is something that is really small, little square you can create. And I'm asking you guys to do like 10 to 12 of these. And this is in your sketchbook. So right now I'm using sketchbook paper. And I've created my little squares here. And I'm just using my viewfinder right now up against my still life to just kind of take a look at, you know, what I'm looking at. So I'm pulling it, you can't see, but I'm pulling it to my eye, and if I pull it closer to my eye, the objects as they relate to the viewfinder, they get bigger. And I can see more of each one, all right? When I pull it closer to the still life, I see less of one in particular object, and all I'm seeing now are the details within the still life. And to be honest, this isn't very interesting. All I see are angles and corners. So I want you guys to play with in your thumbnails, like, you know, how close you want to get something. So I've got my viewfinder, I'm holding it vertically in portrait style, and I've got these in portrait style, and I think I've done most of them in portrait style, but you know, you're welcome to try and do a couple that are longwise or horizontally in landscape. And so I'm going to pull this one kind of in the middle here. And when I do that, I notice as it relates to the viewfinder that the object is pretty big. So I'm looking at this blue piece of tape, this tape roll here itself. And I'm not worried about accuracy as much as I am trying to look at the way that the objects are connecting to the sides of the square inside the viewfinder. So here's that lemon. And I notice that this toilet paper roll is quite large. And then here's that can that I was showing you earlier. And then this is the edge of the box. And though I do like what I'm seeing here with some of these details, you can see it's pretty much just a lemon, tape, and a box edge. So I may want to actually get this closer to my eye or move my still life further away. So this is the thumbnail idea of just kind of zooming in. So now I'm going to pull this closer to my eye. It's almost touching my nose. And I can see like, oh, there's a whole can here as it relates to the viewfinder. There's the toilet paper. Here's the lemon. Here's that blue tape that's around it. Okay, so these are the thumbnail sketches, and what it's doing is it's helping me edit what I want to draw. And I'm kind of liking this arrangement right here, but I'm missing this bottle, so maybe what I'll end up doing is moving my viewfinder over a little bit and trying to get the bottle in. So this is your homework for your sketchbook. It will help lead you to what we're going to be doing with the viewfinder. And I'll talk to you all on Tuesday about the viewfinder in Zoom, and then you can upload that later if you're interested. So this is the thumbnail idea, and you can see it is something that's really quick. Like I have very little, time that's been put into these, and it's something that I could still understand what's going on. So as you get a little bit, faster at doing thumbnails, it'll feel more easy. But what I do want you to do is you can notice how I'm sort of just drawing through objects. I'm not worried about whether or not the lemon's in the right spot. So a thumbnail is something that can be done quickly, that can be done where it captures your idea and allows you to evaluate the type of drawing you want to do. So these are our thumbnails. This is what we're working on. Out of this, we're going to choose one that you think is a better composition, which I think I like this one. This one's interesting, but it's a little on the large side, so I might actually pull back a little bit more and try those out again. I would suggest that you actually use your viewfinder and your eye, and try not to use your camera. Don't set that next to you, your phone, and then try and draw these. Really spend some time doing this. It might be you sitting somewhere out in the living room or in your bedroom or kitchen, for a little bit, and you're welcome to, but I would try both options with this so you can see what it feels like to just really try and evaluate something in real time, being able to see it right in front of you and use your viewfinder as you're looking through it.